It's hump day.
Hump day!
It's hump day.
Hump day!
All right.
All right, everybody. Hello, and welcome to episode 91 of Hump Day Hangouts. Today is the 3rd of August, 2016. Let's just go down real quick and say hi to everybody. So, Hernan, how's it going?
Hey, guys. I just happened to open the Facebook tab, and there were two Adams talking at me at once. It was pretty nice.
It's what everybody wants on Facebook.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. Hey, guys, what's up?
Awesome. That's all I've been hearing is 1 more green screen and 2 more beard. So, you know, that's what we're really trying to do. So,
Yep, definitely.
Marco, how's it going, man?
Hey man, what's up? So listen, upon request, I am not going to mention today how wonderful the weather is in Costa Rica. I will not say how sunny it is. I will not say how warm it is. I will not say that after this I might just go take a dip in the pool because I can. Next week, next month, I won't say it, okay? Not
so what
this
you're saying
time.
is you're not going to be a prick today. Is what
No, I won't. I won't say how wonderful Costa Rica is.
Awesome.
What a guy.
Well, Bradley, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Can't complain. We got several announcements, so I'll just roll through that real quick, and then we can hop into things. I wanted to talk about real quick, as I pull it up. This is what I get for not having it on my sheet in front of me. Okay, so this was the first one, and most importantly, guys, if you are a member of SerpSpace, that's great, good job. If not, I'm going to post the link. Please go sign up. It's free. We're going to be sending out some link building special offers. Okay, and this is above and beyond. From time to time, we'll send out some offers. You know, we like to hook people up with, you know, a 5 or 10% discount here and there. We're going to be offering a special on that. So if you're not a member, please go sign up, and you'll get the email. And those are only for our members. All right. Also, if you have promoted Mastery PR products in the past, Content Kingpin is going to be launching soon. And if you need more information about that and you want to be a JV for these awesome products for Mastery PR, then, you know, well, I guess you guys can chime in here. What's the best way for them to go about doing this, do you think?
Yeah, we'll put the link for the JV page, and they can sign up there. They can get their links there, and you also, if you're interested in promoting it, you can. I would strongly suggest also that you click on the become a VIP JV, because that will keep you in the loop, and we will send swipe files and everything else. So
gotcha.
You know,
they're also available or eligible for prizes if they do that. So cool. All right, yeah, definitely do that, you guys, and that's launching on the 30th of October. Okay. And then also, this is more of the teaser, be honest with you, but Video Powerhouse is getting some awesome changes, updates, and more. So we're just going to do the evil scientist thing here. So
Just to give it just a little bit more spice, we have been working extra hard on this just to make it like the best video embed network, bar none. That's what I want. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want to deliver, because that's what we're known for. And so that's what we're working towards. We're not quite there yet, but we are going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that we have the mad scientists working on it. So.
Yeah, fair enough. So, all right. Well, that's it for announcements. Do you guys got anything?
What about link building?
I already went over it.
Oh,
what
was I doing?
Shame. Probably looking at Facebook.
I guess so. I was playing with Facebook stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, we're going to be doing discount special offer on link building packages, guys, right now. So if you're not on SerpSpace yet, go do it. Get on SerpSpace. It's free to create an account, but yeah, and Dedia's link building services, that, you know, the packages that we do are really good for IFTTT networks, citations, PBNs, tier 2 links, all different kinds of stuff. So I recommend that you go check it out if you haven't done it already. So
yeah. And I forgot about one more thing real quick. Ramp Mastery. All right. If we're hopefully going to get to it, it's more fun than work. So please keep going there and putting in your suggestions, because it's honestly awesome. But you know, if we don't get to it, just know it's kind of a fun thing that we thought of to do, and it just may be something from time to time we pull from. So I'll put that link up here real quick.
I'll probably start it next week on Monday because I should be finished with the Content Kingpin training, finishing that course up this week, and so that's going to free up some time for me. So I'll probably start on that next week, guys. So go ahead and go to rant.semanticmastery.com, submit anything that you want us to chat about. It doesn't have to be about marketing. It could be about anything. If it's funny enough or if it's interesting enough, we'll do it.
Yeah, you've been syndicating and broadcasting a little bit, Bradley, already, right? On Facebook Live and whatnot. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's on right now, actually. Okay, so other than that, are we ready to get into questions and stuff?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, let me go ahead and grab the screen, and I'm gonna lock it on.
Cameraman.
I already did that, but thank you, because I forget that oftentimes when I'm trying to do multitask like this. So. All right, I'm going to switch Firefox and webcam now. Everybody should be seeing pretty much the same image. All right, one of these days somebody's going to come up with an application that will do all this automatically without having to click so many damn buttons. So, until then, all right, so Paul is first one up. He says, hi guys, I think Lisa Allen's RSS Authority Sniper came out after you finished the IFTTT V2 training. So could you show the best way to use a blended feed with your money site in it to your Tier 2 network? An idea of how the recipes would look like to Tier 2A, B, and C with an RSS feed created from RSS Authority Sniper. Thanks for all your good information and courses. Paul, I haven't used Rank Feeder, the feeds that you create with Lisa Allen's product. I haven't used it for syndication. I've used it for submitting to directories and aggregators just as for additional SEO. I haven't used it for syndication. You certainly can. There's no doubt. So without testing it though, without actually playing around and testing with it, which is what I would recommend that you do, Paul, because I don't know how soon I can get to that, but what I would do is what I'm curious about is when you put a sticky item in. For those of you that aren't aware, with Rank Feeder, which is Lisa Allen's product, which is really good, you can create RSS feeds, and you can create RSS feeds from anything that even has a web URL. You can add that to a created feed, and then you can submit the feed to directories and aggregators. You could also use it for syndication. It's not something I've tested yet, however. But what's cool about it is you can create RSS feeds from other RSS feeds, right? But you can insert single URLs into the feed and make them sticky. In other words, you can make them a part of the output of the RSS feed at all times, which is important because if you guys know, when you're publishing content, as soon as you publish a new post, that's going to push that previous item down one in the feed. And if let's say that your feed is only showing 10 items, then by the time you get to the 11th post, it's going to push that first post off the page, right? So it's no longer in that feed, is my point. And so with the sticky items, you can take a YouTube URL, a single post URL, you can do anything, a page. It doesn't have to be a post, it can be a page, it can be anything, and you can create insert it into the feed and make it stick to where no matter how many other posts come in to that blended feed or spliced feed, that one item is going to stick. And you can have multiple sticky items in the same feed, in fact, but that one item will always be there. And why is that important? Well, because if you take that RSS feed and now you syndicate it or submit it to directories and aggregators, and every time new content gets published, whether it's your own content because you have some of your own feeds spliced into it, or other content from other sources, which I recommend using related high authority content sources. So every time that any one of the feeds that make up the overall feed, stream isn't up on page. I'm sorry, which stream's not on page?
Right, on Google Plus, it looks like it's not streaming, so I don't know if it's OBS or something else. Just figured stop you now
What is
real
it,
quick.
just a black screen?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
says
it
it's
just
gonna
says
start
starting
soon.
soon.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Let me,
Yeah, if you can just check and make sure that we're streaming the right thing.
Huh, I'll be damned. All right, well, give me a second, guys, while I fix this.
That's odd because it does say we're broadcasting.
It says we're broadcasting.
Yeah. It's strange.
All right, well, let me try to edit this real quick. Just give me a second.
Let me see if you know, we can.
Hop into YouTube too, real quick, and check.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can go into YouTube. I was trying to.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. That's crazy. I don't understand where.
Did it just make its own?
Oh, you know what I did? Damn it. Okay, guys, I know what I did. I put the IFTTT webinar URL on the page. My bad. So I just got to swap links out. Let me just do that real quick. I see what I did.
Sure.
Multitasking. That's what happens. All right, it should be coming up now as soon as this page refreshes. Yeah, there we go. We're on there. Guys, just remind me to swap out the titles on these once we're done, because I've got the IFTTT webinar showing right now for the update webinar.
Gotcha.
That's actually on the event page now. You guys should be good to go now. Okay, just confirm it for me, please.
Let's see. We are talking right now. Let's see. Yep, we're good to go.
All right, let me refresh it over here. All right, so my bad, guys. I apologize for that. I mixed up the URLs. That was my fault. All right, so my point was with the RSS feeds. Anytime somebody any content is published to any of the feeds that make up that are spliced together to make up the overall rank feeder feed, it's going to signal the bots to crawl it again. Right, so it's basically like pinging the feed. Every time the feed gets updated, it pings again, and it causes the bots to come crawl it again. And what happens is the sticky item, that's what's known as co-citation, because now that one sticky item, or multiple sticky items if you choose to do so, is going to always be associated with content around that topic. And every time that feed gets crawled, that one item or multiple sticky items are going to continue to be crawled again, and that association is made, and that's called co-citation. It's very, very powerful. So now for Paul's question, I have not actually tested syndicating with a rank feeder feed. I don't know what that looks like yet because I haven't done it. So I'm almost certain that you can select the feed to publish either the full text post or snippets. So I'm assuming it would work well, because I know, like for YouTube, for example, if you pull in YouTube, it actually will create the full feed with the embedded video in the feed output, which is something that ever since YouTube got rid of the old RSS feeds within YouTube, that was a function that was no longer available to us. And so I know like you can do that with the rank feeder feed, but as far as syndication, I haven't done it yet, Paul. So the question that I have about that is, if it has a sticky item, every time a new item gets inserted into the feed through just whatever the feeds are that are spliced in there, will that sticky item republish? I'm curious. I don't know. So to answer your question, I don't have any tips for you yet. What I would do is test them, and I would want to make sure that the sticky item doesn't get republished. I don't think it will, but I don't know that for sure. And without testing it, I can't be for sure. Okay, so I would want to check to make sure that the sticky item doesn't get republished. Number one. Number two, if it doesn't and it works that way, then I would say you could always put in the sticky item. See, again, I haven't done any syndication with it, so really just to kind of move beyond this, without any testing, Paul, I don't have any advice for you yet. I would set up some testing on your own first to confirm that, and then if the sticky item does not publish a second time or a third time or whatever, if it doesn't continuously republish, then you could just put a sticky item in the feed and use it for just another feed source, a content source for your tier 2 triggers, which is what we talk about in the tiered network training anyways, right, is to splice or to create or to go locate additional related content feeds and create triggers on tier 2. Well, you could do that with a blended feed or a splice feed. However, remember, keep in mind that any feeds that you splice together into a rank feeder feed, you want to make, if you're going to use that spliced feed as a syndication trigger, then you got to make sure that all of the inputs, so all of the feeds that you're using to create that splice feed, have attribution already coded on their side. So in other words, it already has an automatic attribution link. If it does not, then I wouldn't recommend doing it, because when you start syndicating content without an attribution feed, that's essentially there's some copyright issues that you could deal with. How do I know this? Because we've had students that didn't adhere to what we teach on how to make sure there's always an attribution link, and then they would get cease and desist orders from the blogs of the content they were syndicating, and And then obviously that scares people. Well, I mean, it should. It's copyright stuff, right? So just make sure that if you're going to use a spliced feed for syndication, all of the inputs have to have an attribution link coded in automatically. If it does not, then you would still have to set up individual triggers for each feed, because then you could code the attribution link into the feed through the IFTTT recipe itself. If that makes sense. So hopefully that, I mean, again, Paul, I would just do some testing on your end, and that's why, guys, you should have at least one test network set up for stuff like this, exactly like this, so that you can just play with different recipe configurations and things like that. All right. Excuse me. Okay, Greg says, hey guys, really appreciate your efforts and all you do. Been on the training for 1.5 months. Got 50 rings set up to date. Wow. In 6 weeks, he's got 50 rings set up, guys. You think Greg's a mover and a shaker? He's hustling, man.
Nice.
Yeah, because we have people that are been in the training for 6 months or 6 weeks and don't even have one network up yet. So, anyways, just set up ABC YouTube channel with 300 videos currently. I run YouTube and RSS recipes in main IFTTT account. Okay. YouTube pushes videos to branded network, and ABC site, money site, pushes curated posts to same branded network ring. Then they both trigger tier 2 network rings, but videos don't push to money site. Is this set up correctly? Yes, Greg. And the reason why I say that is because if you've got YouTube recipes set up to your tier 1 branded ring, then every time you upload a video to YouTube, it's going to automatically syndicate anyways. If you then, and we talk about this, I mean, so many times, there's in our knowledge base, supports.semanticmastery.com, we have help or FAQs on this one as well, because this comes up often. But if you're syndicating your YouTube videos automatically to your branded network, and then you go republish your videos on your blog, which a lot of times people do that, right? They have an associated website with their channel, or they have a website and they have an associated channel, right? Does that make sense? So they're both the same brand, and so people will create videos and then they want to go take their video and create a post on their blog with the video, and that's perfectly okay so long as that video is just part of a larger post. In other words, the post shouldn't just be the video and that's it, with the same title as the video and then just the video embed, because then what happens if you have both your YouTube channel and your blog syndicating to the same network, it ends up on the tier 1 properties, it ends up looking like duplicate posts. Granted, the trigger is different. One trigger would be YouTube, the other trigger would be your blog, so it would be the RSS trigger. But on Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, Delicious, all your tier 1 network properties, it's going to look like duplicate posts because it's going to have the same title. It's okay if you're syndicating your YouTube videos from your channel and then you go embed your videos into blog posts, but the blog post should be more like normal type blog posts, which means there's additional content. The title is probably going to be more conversational, like blog post titles typically are. I mean, we usually title our YouTube videos after a specific keyword, right? So it's a very SEO'd type title. But with blog post titles, they're typically a bit more like natural language patterns. They're more conversational. So as long as you're doing it that way, then it's fine, because then on your tier 1 network properties, even though you'll still have the same video syndicated twice to the network, it's going to be syndicated in different formats. One would just be the YouTube syndication. The second would be the video embedded in an overall bigger post, right? So that's only natural, and that makes sense to do so. So it's perfectly okay. And so in your case, videos don't push to your money site. Yeah, I mean that's fine. I wouldn't want to do that anyways. If you push them directly to your money site and then your money site republishes them again, then again it's going to look like duplicate posts across your network, and that could get your accounts terminated. So you don't want to do that. Okay. To help boost the YouTube channel, can I have a completely separate persona rings themed for niche and using YouTube connection and IFTTT, a branded site as tier 1, then push videos out via RSS as normal to tier 2? Is this correct? Yeah, Paul, or excuse me, Greg. Yeah, for YouTube, you can stack as many persona networks on your YouTube channel as you want. So if you have your YouTube channel right now, your money channel, let's call it your money channel, okay, is syndicating to a tier 1 branded network, you can start stacking persona networks, tier 1 persona networks on your YouTube channel, as many as you want. You could do full 2-tier networks too, it doesn't matter. All you do is you use that same money channel, you connect that as your YouTube channel in IFTTT for all of your subsequent persona networks. So every single new network that you're going to connect to your YouTube channel, just make sure that go to Firefox, log into that IFTTT account for that network, which would be a persona-based network, and then log into YouTube in another tab in Firefox, log into that same YouTube channel, which is your money channel. And that's, again, why I always like to use page logins instead of actual logging in via profile. And then connect that channel to that persona's IFTTT account as the YouTube channel, right? And I'm saying like the IFTTT channel, right? It's YouTube. Connect that, and then every time you syndicate a video, it will push to your persona network, right? Every time you publish a video, it'll push to your persona network. So you can do that for as many as you want. There's no limit, okay? And there's no footprint issues provided that you do the recipes the way that we have them set up, where you're not syndicating the video description, okay? So, and yeah, and for Tier 2, there's no difference in setup for Tier 2 networks. For YouTube or blog syndication, there's zero difference, okay? Because everything for Tier 2 is triggered via RSS recipes. The only difference between Tier 2 networks for blog syndication and video syndication is for blog syndication, you want to add related content feeds as Tier 2 triggers. But for YouTube syndication, it's not necessary. Other than that, the functionality is all the same. All right. Excuse me. Greg says he's talking about RSS Sniper. See, I've been using RSS Sniper. Also, love it, Lisa Allen, and it's helped speed up my RSS curation, splicing, and dicing. Also, I look forward to what the brain dudes have to tell us. All right. So the next one is from Kevin. Kevin says, so I have a domain that caught some bad link juice and now has consistently bounced around page 2 to 3, swinging wildly in position for 4 months now. I would like to a new branded domain and 301 the old domain to the new domain. Okay, so I think he means he would like to move it to a new branded domain and 301 the old to the new. The thing is, I will move the old domain to a new hosting provider, which will be the same account and host that my new purchased branded domain will be on. Okay, will Google slap my new domain since I am 301ing my old domain, which is on the same hosting account as the new domain? No, don't. You're conflating two things there, Kevin. It doesn't matter unless you're on a real shitty host, which, you know, like we could start naming off some real shitty hosts. But if you're on a really shitty shared hosting account, then you know, you could be in a bad neighborhood just by the IP, just guilty by association. If you're surrounded by a bunch of other spammy sites on the same IP, which is quite possible with shared hosting, then there can be some issues with just having that IP period. But just switching from one domain to another on the same IP, the same host, that's not going to negatively affect you, because remember, your IP most likely, if you're on shared hosting, which I'm assuming you are, is going to be shared with sometimes hundreds of other sites, and so, you know, they would have to penalize, Google would have to penalize every site that's using the same IP as you are, right? And sometimes that happens. Don't get me wrong, and that could be, you know, could be an issue. It's probably not your issue here though. So just buying a new domain, cloning the site, putting it on a new domain, and then 301ing the old to the new, the host itself, the IP issue, shouldn't be causing you an issue unless it's just a bad IP, been flagged as a bad IP because of a you know, considerably high amount of other spammy sites on that IP. There's a site that you can check that checks like IP neighborhood. I think you can do that Majestic too. So, anyways, you can just do a Google search for like check sites on IP or something like that, and there are sites out there that will do a scan of your IP address or your domain and will tell you all the other sites on that IP. And so you can go like just kind of have a scan and see if there's a bunch of like Viagra and farms, you know, pharmacy stuff and, you know, things like that. Then I would recommend switching hosts anyways, to, you know, so that you get a better IP. All right. That's another reason why we use Liquid Web so much, is because Liquid Web really limits their shared hosting, the amount of websites that they allow on an IP, and so there's a lot less likely for you to be in a spam trap like HostGator or something else, which there's a lot of that. All right. But remember, keep this in mind. If you are going to basically clone a site that's been bouncing, and then you 301 the old domain to the new domain, you will be passing the penalty eventually, especially if it's algorithmic and you never even see it. It will catch up. It won't be like initially when you clone the site, put it on a new domain and 301 the old to the new, you should probably see any bad juju like disappear. You should probably solidify where the rankings are for that. But that penalty will catch up with that 301 at some point. Typically, it's not always the case, but oftentimes it will. You need to figure out where the problem is coming from, where it originates, and then fix that first. So if you can isolate, like what you're saying, it's a bad link juice penalty, right? So I'm assuming it's an algorithmic penalty. Then you need to identify which links are giving you the trouble, and go ahead and resolve that first. Fix that before you bother with the 301, the cloning in the 301. So, because sometimes it might just be one or two pages on your site or posts on your site that have these negative or these bad links pointing at it that are pulling the entire site down. And if that's the case, what you'd want to do is redirect that single page or post URL away, or do give it a 410 code or something like that, which means page does not exist anymore. And then you can 301 the remaining pages from the site that don't have any bad links to them on a page-by-page basis to the new site. And that way, you're redirecting any bad link juice away from the site. You can point it to a competitor. I didn't say that, did I? If you can isolate which pages or posts on your site have bad links pointing to it, then you could redirect it elsewhere, competitor, or you could just do a 410, or you could just redirect it, like a 404 page for that matter, anything like that, and then you could redirect all of your existing pages that don't have bad links pointing to them to the new pages on the new domain, and that's how I would do it. Because otherwise, if you just do a flat-out domain redirect and you have an algorithmic or whatever, a link-based penalty, eventually that penalty is going to transfer to your new domain, and you're back to square one again. You want to comment on that, Hernan or Marco?
No, I think you made a good point. I mean, 301s go wherever you want them to go, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter if it is a competitor. You can do it. You can do it to a Twitter, for example, to a Twitter profile. I've been doing that lately. Like if you have those domains that you register and you are not sure that if they will benefit, just use them as tier 2. Just point them to a tweet or redirect them to a YouTube video or whatever, because usually the domain authority and the trust flow of that property will filter out whatever bad link juice is between the tweet and your money site.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing. That the good thing about 301s is that you can use them whatever way you want it. And there being a switch box, if you're pointing them to a branded properties, you need to be really careful with branded properties. We do not blast them with links, for example, because of the branding possibility. The truth is that you can always kill the link juice and point them like one tier back, like a PBN posting to a tweet, posting to, and then the tweet linking to your website. So, you just need to be creative with 301s. I think things can get really, really fun when you actually get the power that a 301 that detachable link juice can have. So.
Yeah. Okay, it says I still want to use the old domain as I put six plus months of link building into it, and I want to still use that juice on the new branded domain. The reason why I'm doing the domain transfer is I do not want to pay $155 a year for hosting. I have the domain parked for $16 a year. Can I just do the 301 and leave the domain parked? I don't understand what you mean there. I don't understand what you mean there. The domain, the 301, the domain should have nothing to do with your hosting, because you can point the domain to any hosting account that you want, right? So if you've got the domain registered in your registrar, whatever it is, Namecheap, GoDaddy, whatever, you can point that domain to any hosting that you want. So right now, if you have it parked, it just means that your name servers are pointed to the parking page for whatever registrar you're using. All you have to do is go update your name servers to point to your hosting account, whatever hosting account you have, and it will automatically point to that host now instead of a parking page. So Kevin, I'm not sure what you're saying about having a parked domain and all that. You can't leave a domain parked and also 301 it. You can't do that.
Yeah, and I think he's also confused because you don't have granular control at the it would be the registrar level where you'd have to go. And what we do is like wildcard 301s, where we redirect everything to the home page before we redirect the domain to wherever it is that we want it to go. Especially when something, you know how Chinese domains are, that they'll have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subdomains, and you don't want to go and redirect each one. So we use the wildcard, right? And then we redirect that somewhere else. But if he's wanting to keep the juice, and if he's wanting to keep what he has and the content, and he plans to do a page-by-page redirect, and that's htaccess, or maybe a WordPress plugin. So we're talking about two different things. Not the hosting account, not the registrar, but actually on the domain itself, going into the domain, and if it's htaccess, then it's cpanel or FTP or SSH, whatever it is that he's going to use to access that, to get at that htaccess file.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I mean, what I would do is the existing site, if it's a WordPress site, you can install the 301 redirects plugin, the simple 301 redirects plugin, and you can actually create a spreadsheet. Just use Excel or whatever, and create a spreadsheet. And in column A, you put your old URLs, your existing URLs from the existing site, and in column B, you put the new URLs and do a 1-to-1 ratio, right? Because you're just going to clone the site anyways. That's what I would recommend doing, is you clone the site. But first, remember, you've got to identify where the bad links are coming from and resolve that first. But then you do a 1-to-1, page by page, post by post redirect in a spreadsheet. So column A, original URL, column B, new domain URL, right? And then you can use the simple 301 redirects plugin with the bulk extensions add-on, which is it's a free add-on. And then you can upload the CSV file, and it will automatically create all of those redirects for you. That's the easiest and quickest way to do it, in my opinion. And then the homepage URL, the homepage itself, so the root domain of the existing domain, I would put on something like the Ultimate Coming Soon plugin, or something like that, where you could just put up an image and a link that says, we've moved or whatever. And so the root domain itself would be like a parking page, but it would still be on the existing WordPress site. And it would have an actual link saying, we've moved to over here or something like that. That's how I usually will do it. Or you could do it all in htaccess, or you could set up redirects inside cpanel. Those are a little bit geekier to do, though. All right. But yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying about the parking and all that kind of stuff. Unless you purchase the domains through the actual hosting account, in which case, again, it's not going to cost you more money unless you're with some kind of weird host, to be able to just make that domain, the purchase domain, the new one, an add-on domain to the hosting account, and then you're going to update the name servers to point to the name servers that the host gives you. Okay, so I think there's some confusion there as to what it is you're trying to do, Kevin, but hopefully that was helpful. Okay, Ed is up. Ed, what's up, Ed? He says, hope you all are having a good summer. I am. It's been hot as hell, though, I can tell you that. I've been trying on my own, but have been unsuccessful utilizing OBS to stream videos to pre-scheduled events on my channel that are already ranking on Google and YouTube, but just need to stream the actual MP4 or WMV to the scheduled event to complete it. I guess you can probably stream WMV. I can't imagine why you couldn't. I was playing with some software the other day that doesn't work with WMV, but I don't think it was OBS. Anyways, is there a way to do this with the version of OBS you have in your original training video? Yes, Ed. All you do is go, okay, let me see if I can, I'm going to have to go ahead and grab the whole screen here for a minute, guys, so just bear with me. I'll walk you through it. And I know this is going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see, so what I'll do is, just give me 1 minute. I'm going to go to desktop. All right. All right,
And
so you guys should...
make sure you open a separate instance of the software.
I'm sorry?
Make sure you open a separate instance of the software, right?
Well, I'm not going to have to open the software, but
Okay.
but yeah, I'm just going to show him how to do this with the thing. So let's change this out real quick. I'm going to swap to a different. You know what? Let's go ahead and go to. It's easy, Ed. Though it really is. It's simple. You just got to grab the stream key for that particular event. So if I come over here, this is our main channel, Semantic Mastery. If I come over here to live streaming, I go to events. These are going to show you where you have your upcoming events, right? So like this is the one that we have upcoming that I actually let's see, resume Hangout on air. I'm not sure why it's showing this, but it says because it's showing live now. What you want to do is go to upcoming. Sorry, let's go to that. Okay, so you guys can see these are the upcoming webinar events. So Ed, for you, what you're talking about is you have already ranked some scheduled live events, and you want to now stream a pre-recorded video into the already ranked live event. Okay, so these are live events right here. Okay, and what you want to do is first of all, if you, I'm assuming you used some sort of software, and if you have to create the live events, I don't think I'm just going to assume that you didn't do it manually and create the live events manually, because if you used some sort of software, it should have created the live events using the custom settings instead of the quick settings. Because if it was a scheduled live event created with the quick settings, the only way, and quick just means you're going to use Google Hangouts on air. Okay, and so the only way to actually insert a video into that live stream is to actually start the Hangout on air and then use a software program to insert it into the actual Hangout on air feed. But the problem with that is pre-recorded videos always come out really crappy when you try to stream a pre-recorded video to a Hangout on air. Okay, it always comes out really crappy. The transitions will be real shitty. They'll be like pixelated and stuff like that, so any transitions in the video will come out like crap. The audio is going to sound absolutely terrible, and it's a bit geeky to set up anyways. So if you set up a custom scheduled live event, then that's going to give you your encoding keys. And by the way, once you set up a live event and you click the schedule button or the save button or whatever, you cannot go back and edit it. If it's not the correct format, then you have to actually delete the event and then recreate it with the correct format. So let me just show you what I mean, guys. If I click on new live event, right here you can see the type. There's two different types: quick, which uses Google Hangouts on air, and custom. If you're setting up live events for poking keywords to test keywords, you want to make sure that they're always set up on custom. Okay, and if you're using software that does the poking for you using live events, it should have already created the events using the custom settings. Okay, but now let me just show you. We're going to say Ed demo. We'll go ahead and create this live event using custom like we show here. Public, which means it will go ahead and index. Okay, let's go ahead and not share it to here since it's just a demo. I'm going to click create event. And so now I'm assuming, again, Ed, that this is what you had set it up this way with the custom settings, okay? So if that's the case, then when you go to use OBS, first of all, you want to select the bitrate. Depending on your bandwidth, I would recommend going with 480p. You know, if you have real high bandwidth, you can go with 720p. But if you've got pretty crappy bandwidth, then I would go with 360p. Remember, that's going to affect the quality of your pre-recorded video, though. Just keep that in mind. But what I typically do is go with the 480p setting. Okay? Once you've selected that, you can see it says event successfully saved, and it will give you all of this other data here. And then what you want to do is go to info and settings, I believe. Hold on, I got to find it, so just give me a second. Maybe it's under live control room. There we go. Let's see, there should be a stream key. Maybe it is back here on ingestion settings. Just give me a second. Select your encoder. Okay. So for other encoders, that's what I would do. Yeah, okay, I'm going to switch really quick. But, well, it shouldn't matter because it should only be for this one event. There is a channel stream key. If you go to your Stream Now beta, where it says beta, if you click on that, then that'll give you a channel stream key, which means anybody with that key can actually stream into your channel, which is why I don't want to show that publicly. But I think for individual scheduled live events, the stream key is unique to that event. So what you want to do is from select your encoder, select other encoders, and then from here it's the stream name. You want to copy the stream name and insert that into the stream key section of OBS. All right. So does that make sense? Let me open up another instance like Marco just said, so I can show you where that goes. You guys should be seeing my whole screen. Am I right? I just want to make sure, confirm that everybody's seeing this. Okay. All right. So what you would do is from your scheduled event, click on once you've selected your bitrate. Once it saves and it says event successfully saved, and it opens up these other options from the select your encoder. You want to select other encoders. Then you're going to highlight stream name and copy that, and then you're going to go into your OBS software, and you're going to go to settings. You're going to go to stream. And you're going to go to YouTube, and then you're going to paste your stream key right here. You're going to click apply, then you're going to click OK, and then you're going to click the start stream. And once you click start stream, it's going to actually, it will show you a preview on here. So, for example, if we come over here to Live Control Room, once you've clicked the start stream in OBS, it will show preview up here. You can click the preview button, and it will start the stream, but it won't start broadcasting until you tell it to start. So that's a good time to go ahead and get set up. And let me just cancel this, and I'll show you. Inside of OBS, if you have an image set up, like for example, let's say that this is the image that you want to use as your thumbnail. I always recommend that you have a thumbnail set up as a scene, right? So a 1280 by 720 thumbnail, and then your video next in line, so that you can switch between the two, and you can see it'll. So when you start the stream in YouTube, let it run for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then just go ahead and click on the video, because when you click on the video, it's automatically going to start broadcasting that video to the stream. You see that? So that's why what you want to do is use a placeholder as a thumbnail image as a placeholder first, then click on it, because it's going to automatically start it from the beginning. Just sit there and watch the video, and near the end of the video, right before it fades out, or however you've got the ending of the video, you just want to click back to the thumbnail, let it run for another few seconds, and then go ahead and click the stop broadcast button. Okay, and that's how you do it. And then once the video has been streamed and it renders fully, which takes a few minutes, then you can go back and actually use the YouTube editor to edit out the thumbnail in the beginning, and edit the thumbnail at the end if you want. But if you've got a good call to action, a thumbnail with a good CTA, it shouldn't matter anyways. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, so let's go ahead and switch this back to how we had it. All right. Okay, we should be back. So hopefully that was helpful. Yep. Right? Steve says, been checking out Hump Day Hangouts for some time. Great stuff. Thanks. Today my first question. Awesome. Well, glad to have you here, Steve. I've heard you guys, and especially Marco, talking about semantic seed sites, yet I can find little practical information about how to achieve this status, assuming I have a site, non-local, selling e-products, that has good content, original plus curated. I've added JSON-LD markup, and I'm using RSS, IFTTT syndication to social sites, branded Tier 1 network. What other specific steps do I need to take to make my site a semantic seed site, and how will I know when it is one? Are there specific things involved, or is it like calling your site an authority site, vague meaning but no real definition? Thanks. Marco, I'm going to dump this one in your lap.
No problem. I wasn't vague at all about how to create a seed site or a seed set. It starts with IFTTT. I mean, that's how you start sending the signals and the trust. But the one sure way to do it is to get a verified map. You go and you verified you get a verified business listing, and then you can push that trust. Then I would have to start giving away too much on how to do multiple locations and how you can set all that up, right? I'm not ready to give all that stuff away, but it can be done. Mm-hmm. You can use one location to verify multiple locations, and then you can create your seed set, or just transfer the trust from the one seed site that you created. Once it has enough trust, transfer it to others in the set. But that's what happens anyway when we get a verified Google My Business listing and we get that Tier 1 going and we start posting to it, because they're all trusted sources anyway. and what's coming back is links from trusted sources to the blog or whatever it is that you're running. You know, your business site, your personal site. All of a sudden, that becomes a trusted site. I mean, we looked at the other day, right, Monday, in our mastermind, on one guy and how he was manipulating maps to create his seed sites and seed sets. And it works really well, guys. Once you get it done, you avoid penalties, you shield yourself away from anything. Now, this is very technical, and it's not something that I can give away in the mastermind, in a Hump Day Hangout, and it's not something that I'm going to give away publicly anyway. At some point, I might do maybe a webinar or some training on how to develop seed sites and seed sets. But one of the ways that we do it is IFTTT.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. But I mean, yeah, even if you've got an e-com business, you know, you can still register the business to a local address. It could be your home address, or it could be, you know, if you have an actual office, I would recommend that you verify it to your office. But if not, if you don't want to use a home address, if that's what you've got as an e-com store, you can use a P.O. box. Just use the street address option, and that way you can get that verified local Google My Business listing, which is going to help to validate the entity. That's what Marco's saying. Right.
And just to add to this, one thing that we learned from RYS Academy that people need to be clear on is thinking local. And thinking local maybe as just your neighborhood or just your city. But really, your local, when it comes to maps, can be any geographical area that you're working in. The street address then becomes irrelevant because you're not delivering services to your customers at your actual brick and mortar store. What you're doing is you're serving people at their place of business, right? So whether you do it locally, statewide, regional, nationwide, or even globally, then the global setting becomes your local. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you verify, you're not going to be publishing your address. You're going to go after the region. And so when you think of local, you have to think of your local approach that way, when you e-commerce or whatever it is that you're doing on a larger scale than maybe just a neighborhood, I don't know, plumber or anything else that might fall under those categories as far as services are concerned.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Shit, I keep doing this. I'm having trouble with this. I'm getting ready for the update webinar because I screwed up the URLs. We got about 5 minutes. Let's roll through a few of these questions. Andy says, he looks like a new face too. Hey, if I syndicate my blog post to my Google Plus local page, my Google Plus brand page, and also share my blogger post to my Google Plus profile page, is this too many? No, that's fine. When I first read this question earlier, I thought you were doing all three to your Google, like you were syndicating from various locations to the same Google Plus page or whatever, and in that case I would say don't do that. But this is fine because your blog is going to your Google Plus local page or Google brand page, which is absolutely fine to do that. And then if your blogger post is being syndicated to your profile, your Google Plus profile, then all three of those are different, right? So that's perfectly fine. There's no problem with that at all. Good job, by the way, for setting it up like that too, because that's now you're getting 3 times the power of a single syndication, right? Scott says, hello, I have IFTTT V2. My question, the required tools needed, screen capture software, proxies or VPN, phone verified accounts. Don't see a VPS. I plan on doing my own link building using FCS Networker. It's probably a good idea to have a VPS in this case, then correct? Yeah, probably. I don't run any of those. What do you think, Hernan? Should he have a VPS for FCS Networker? Well, for GSA, there's no doubt. For FCS Networker, I don't know how heavy that is on bandwidth or PC resources.
No, it's not heavy at all. I mean, it's not. For FCS Networker, I mean, if you have you will definitely need one, as Bradley was saying, a VPS for GSA. That's no doubt, because otherwise you won't be able to do anything, and GSA goes into nasty places. And point blank, you do not want that in your PC. Since you're getting that, you can very well run FCS Networker. FCS Networker, the only thing that you need actually is the FCS account creator. which is, you know, a pretty, I think it's U-bot software, so it's pretty straightforward over there. It doesn't, you know, it won't harm you because it won't be running like 24/7 or anything like that. So I don't think you need it. But if you're getting one for GSA, you can definitely go for one like on Green Cloud, VPS or something like that, and you can install FCS Networker over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, that's why I don't use those softwares myself. I mean, I have somebody who does it for me. So, we have 3 dedicated servers that we use specifically for GSA, and I'm pretty sure FCS Networker. I don't know, because FCS Networker is cloud-based, except for the account creator, correct?
Yes, that's
right.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
So that's why you don't need it for you don't need a VPS for that. We have three dedicated servers for GSA alone.
Yeah.
And but that's because it's so damn resource heavy. Plus, one of our servers is specifically used just for scraping link targets.
Yeah, and the main problem is not GSA, like the actual link building tool, but the capture breaker.
Yeah.
The capture breaker will be like the most resource heavy. The OCR aspect of it, it's like really resource heavy. That's why you need a VPS with at least 8 GB of RAM to like run it fluidly. Otherwise, it will keep crashing and whatnot. But FCS Networker is not heavy. You can run it on your desktop app, on your PC. Sorry. But then again, if you're getting a VPN, I mean, you do not need this. This is the thing. You do not need either FCS or GSA to build IFTTT networks.
That's right.
You do not need them.
Right.
All you need is the training, you know, and maybe a VPN or a couple of proxies, and that's it.
That's right.
You know, you can get from verified accounts, etc., but you do not need them. You will need them in case you want to power those networks with links.
All right, we got a few more to run through. Hopefully we'll get through these very quickly, guys. Would you save the link building for VPS use and build out networks on your regular desktop? Yes. We don't use like VPSs for building networks. We just do all of that from our own local PC. Scott says, I just purchased Video Marketing Blitz through Semantic Mastery Affiliate Link. I'm currently going through the IFTTT V2 course, and it's very involved. When would you suggest to start using Video Marketing Blitz? Maybe after I've gone through and set up a few rings and completely understand it and implementing it so I stay focused. Couldn't help but get VMB because it looks so flipping cool. Like that, Scott. It is very, very powerful. Anybody that hasn't seen the webinar yet that we did with Abs, Adam, if you want to drop that link on the event page, go check it out. The replay's up. I highly recommend it. As far as you, Scott, what I would recommend doing is once, you know, as we always say, the IFTTT rings, you should learn how to build them. You know, set up 1 or 2 or even 3 on your own so that you know how to build them, and then I recommend outsourcing it from that point forward. Whether you buy them from us or you hire your own outsourcer or you buy them from somewhere else, I really don't care. I'm just telling you should be outsourcing that because it's so time consuming. And as far as using the video, like how Video Marketing Blitz, you can start testing keywords now using the poking, the keyword prospector or whatever it's called, which is poking keywords and checking keywords. You can start doing that now, and then what I recommend you do is you have 2 separate sets of accounts. Ones that are testing accounts or test channels that are specifically that there's no other connection on the web. They're not semantically friendly. There's no IFTTT networks. They're just bare bones YouTube channels with the API enabled, YouTube API enabled. You use those for testing. Then you set up money channels that you use for once you've identified the keywords that you're going to rank that can rank very easily. You set up money channels with individual IFTTT, Tier 1 branded IFTTT rings for each one of those channels. That's how I recommend doing it. So what I suggest doing is learning how to build the networks so that you understand them, and then stop building them. Either hire us to do it or hire your own outsourcer and have them build them, and then you can start working on the Video Marketing Blitz software side of things while somebody else is building your networks for you. That's what I recommend you do. Okay? Otherwise, you'll be spending all your time building networks, man, and building networks is not going to make you money. The completed networks, what you do with them, will make you money. So get somebody else to build them for you for a lot cheaper. Your time is worth more than what it would take for you to build them, I can tell you that. And Adam's going to flip out on me. I'm going to try to answer at least 2 more real quick. John says, accidentally created a second Tier 2 themed Persona account with Blogger instead of Tumblr, so I have Tier 2 themed Persona account with Blogger instead of Tumblr, so I have Blogger, WordPress. what would you recommend? Using it as a tier 3 and point it to tier 2s, use it as a 4th tier 2 and point it at the same money site, or changing all the interlinking recipes, WP Tumblr? It's not that important, John. I mean, if you're doing it for YouTube syndication, it really makes no difference. If it's for blog syndication, then you can use it as just an additional tier 2 ring. Just make sure that you're adding additional content triggers in. Again, if you're using a 2-tier network for blog syndication, you just got to make sure that you're following instructions inside the training, or else you can leave a footprint. For YouTube syndication, it makes no difference. So it's really not a big deal what you want to do with it. You can leave it as is, or you could make it a tier 3. I typically don't. That gets a bit too complicated. There's too many moving pieces there. Or you could just basically repurpose it and use it as a YouTube network, a tier 1 YouTube network for one of your YouTube channels. All right, last one. I'm going to answer beyond measures. We're going to read it. I don't know that I can answer it, and then we're done. Not sure of detail that you can go into during Hump Day Hangouts, but for drive stack link building, do you just build as many links, regardless of where they come from, to get power, since the drive stacks can handle the abuse, and clean the links before passing the juice to the money site? Thanks. Me personally, I just spam them. Like, all I do is, once a drive stack has been completed, I'll send it over to Dedia, our link, for our link building service, which is the same service that we offer on SERPspace, guys. The same one that we talked about at the beginning of this webinar. There's going to be a brief window of time where it's going to be a discounted price for the link building packages. So that's all I do, is just send the drive stack URLs over to the link building service in order a link building package, and have them just blasted with spam. Any comments on that, Marco?
No, I mean that's it. I mean, it depends on where it's going. If it's going to your money site, I don't know if I would trust a Fiverr gig, although it could probably withstand the abuse. But as far as link building, you know how we do it. We turn it over to Dedia. He does his thing, and we deliver it. And we hit everything inside the folder, right, inside the drive stack. So everything benefits from it, and whatever it's connected to benefits from it. It's that spiderweb silo effect. And so it's just what we do. That's it. There's no secret to what we do.
That's how we do.
That's how we do what we do.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for being here. The IFTTT SEO Academy update webinar starts in about 5 minutes. I got to get this URL mess that I made fixed. As soon as I clean that up, we'll get started. Got a couple cool things to go over today in the webinar. If you guys aren't aware of how to get to that, just go to the Facebook group for IFTTT SEO Academy V2. Click on the Events tab, and you'll see the event. If you click on the link in the event, it will take you to the events page. Okay, and we're gonna start that up in about 5 minutes. So thanks everybody for being here. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.